Every Pokemon is someone's favorite, but that doesn't mean every single Pokemon can do well in the trading card game. Let's see if we can change that today. So in this series, we use the Gym Leader Challenge. In the Gym Leader Challenge, there's a couple of set rules that we have to make sure we follow. The first is that all Pokemon from Black and White through today are valid, with a couple of exceptions. Also, no Rulebox Pokemon. No EX, GXs, Vs, anything like that. Radiance, Ace-Specs, all that stuff is banned. Third, you're only allowed one of each card as it's a singleton format, except for basic energies. And finally, all your Pokemon must be the same type. So if you have a Psychic or a Fire deck, all the Pokemon in the deck must be Psychic type or Fire type. No exceptions. So just like before, I have a wheel here with every single fully evolved Pokemon that's playable in Gym Leader Challenge. Let's give it a spin and see which Pokemon we're going to be playing with this time. And it looks like we've got Gastrodon. Okay, I love Gastrodon. This is going to be fun. Gastrodon is a sea slug Pokemon from Generation 4's Sinnoh region. It evolves from Shellos, and while it's a really cool design, it's never really seen much use competitively in the trading card game, even at the beginning in the Diamond and Pearl era. It comes in two forms, East Side, the blue form, and West Side, the pink form. East Side is significantly better than West Side. I will not be taking questions on this, and my opinion will not change. So now let's take a look at which Gastrodon cards are legal in the GLC format. First, we have Gastrodon from Steam Siege. This card is kind of clunky. Its first attack is a decent stall tactic. 1 energy to be able to make the opponent potentially not attack or retreat is always a plus, but with only 20 damage attached to it, 110 hit points, and a retreat cost of 2, it makes it really difficult to both use this and keep it around. Not to mention its second attack, which would never be worth powering up. We should probably pass on this one. Alright, so what else is there? Well, there's 3 Gastrodon that seem pretty easy to use, and they're actually the only other Gastrodon cards in the format. The first one, Gastrodon from Surging Sparks, would shut down many Stage 2 Pokemon that decks really rely on for their abilities. Things like Baxcalibur, Gallade, Garganacl would all be useless with this card on the bench. Gastrodon from Lost Origin has a half-decent attack in Earthquake. 170 damage is nothing to scoff at, and Fighting doesn't usually mind having damage on the bench to set up other attackers. Gastrodon from Crimson Invasion just seems like a slightly worse version of the Lost Origin Slug. 10 fewer hit points and 50 less damage for the same energy cost isn't great, even if it does do half as much damage to your own bench Pokemon. In either of these cases, 3 energies is a big ask, but Fighting has a good amount of energy acceleration, so it's not impossible. Alright, let's build with the Lost Origin Gastrodon. Now we just need to pick a Shellos. Oh no. They're all water types. I forgot Shellos isn't a ground type, but that means... Well, I guess we're gonna try to make the Steam Siege Gastrodon work. Alright, so now let's take a look at the 60 cards that I decided to put together to showcase this Gastrodon from Steam Siege. Now, its pros and cons are pretty bad in comparison. The negatives of this Gastrodon do not make it easy to build a deck with, but we're going to pair it with this Shellos from Lost Origin as it has 70 hit points and an attack that can be used for 1 energy. There's not a lot of great options for Shellos. We are going to use that with a lot of support. So the way that Gastrodon works, increasing the retreat cost and increasing attack cost, I think pairs nicely with this Jellicent from Boundaries Crossed that says each of your opponent's retreat cost is 1 more. If we're going to trap him in the active, let's really make sure we trap him in the active. We'll pair that with Frillish from Roaring Skies, because this Frillish has an attack for 1 energy, which can confuse your opponent's Pokemon, and it has 70 hit points, so it can stay alive a little bit longer. The next Pokemon that we're going to use for support is this Slowking from Breakpoint. Now, Slowking here has a fun ability. Once per turn, flip a coin. If heads, move an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their benched Pokemon. This can again make it so that way the opponent is not able to attack or retreat easily, and it makes them waste resources that they wouldn't necessarily have if they're kind of in a bind and constantly having to cycle through resources to retreat and extra energy to attack. And by pairing that with the Slowpoke from Lost Thunder, again 70 hit points and an attack that puts your opponent to sleep, so we can stall and try to get a little bit longer if we needed that Slowpoke in the active. Then we have one last support Pokemon, and this one's going to be a little interesting. We are running Inteleon, but we're running Quick Shooting Inteleon from Chilling Reign. Now you might say, why on earth would you ever run that Inteleon over Shady Dealings Inteleon? And that's because this Inteleon can help plink off some of those extra damage counters on the bench if the Pokemon are able to retreat, or simply over time wear down those low HP Pokemon and take some extra knockouts that way. We are, however, going to use Shady Dealings Drizzile from Sword and Shield base, and the new Sobble from Mega Evolution because it has 70 hit points. Again, that's the ideal number for an evolving basic. But there's one more attacker we're going to include in this deck, and that is Sharpedo from Obsidian Flames. Now this is not a very common card in GLC, but because of that first attack that's for 1 energy, it does 10 damage plus 30 more for each of their each retreat cost in the opponent's active Pokemon. Well, when you combine this with Jellicent and with some of the tools and stadiums that you're going to see later on, Sharpedo for 1 energy can do quite a good amount of damage. We'll pair that with the Carvanha from Champion's Path because it has 60 hit points instead of 50 like most of them. There's two more Pokemon lines we're going to use just for support. That is Octillery from Breakthrough, because once per turn you can draw till 5 in your hand. That's pretty useful. We'll play that with the Remoraid from Paradox Rift because it has 70 hit points. And finally, we'll use Vulpix from Guardians Rising for its beacon attack. It's a great Pokemon to have in the active. It can attack for no energy, and overall it's just going to help us get set up if we find it early. So what supporters are we going to be running? Well, there's a couple of supporters that we're going to use to search out cards. Irida is a no-brainer in a water-type deck. We're also going to use Ball Guy because we're going to be running an excessive amount of balls in this deck. Arven and Guzma Hala are all going to be used to search for cards in our deck. We have 2 other sort of search cards, being Raihan and Teammates, to help us, if we ever fall behind, which we likely will, knowing this kind of deck, help us catch back up later in the game. And just for some fun, we're going to throw in a Hex Maniac as well, just to shut off my opponent's abilities if they ever become problematic for a turn, so that way I can get back online with what I need to do. There's a couple of hand resets that we're going to be playing. Lily's Determination, probably one of the best supporters in the GLC format, as well as Marnie and Iono to reset our opponent's hand if we needed to. Then we're going to be running a lot of cards to pull opponent's Pokemon to the active spot, so that way we can make sure that we have control of the game. Whether it's Boss's Orders, Lisia's Appeal, or Guzma, we're going to make sure that we have the Pokemon we want in the active, not the opponent. Nessa to find extra water energy in Pokemon that die, as well as Lusamine to get some of those stadiums that we might need back, or other supporters as well. And Roseanne's backup is kind of an interesting choice here, because if we ever really needed a tool or a stadium back into our deck and we don't have access to Lusamine, it's a solid card for that. Now onto the items. We're going to be running a lot of search items. Buddy Buddy Poffin, Dive Ball, Nest Ball, Level Ball, Ultra Ball, Hisuian Heavy Ball, Evolution Incense all help us find Pokemon. We want to get set up as fast as possible with this deck to make it a nightmare for our opponents. We're also going to be running Capacious Bucket to help find some energy. I could have run Professor's Letter, but you have access to Capacious Bucket. Might as well run it. Now, as far as recovery cards, we have Aqua Patch to recover some energy immediately, Night Stretcher, Rescue Stretcher, Old Rod, Super Rod, and Versus Seeker. All of these cards are going to help get cards out of our discard pile and back into play, especially when they take knockouts on some of our Pokemon like Gastrodon that are fairly easy to knock out. Additionally, we're going to be running Field Blower and Counter Catcher just again so we can bolt more stuff to the active and control both stadiums and items that might help our opponent retreat for free, like Floatstone. As far as tools are concerned, we're going to be running TM Evolution, because again, it's incredibly important that we get set up quickly. Floatstone, so we're not trapped in the active. Gravity Gemstone for Sharpedo, so that way he can take an extra 30. He can get an extra 30 damage, and it makes the opponent's life just a little bit harder when they're trying to retreat. For stadiums, we're going to be running 3. Brooklet Hill to set up some basics and get everything ready to go, Surfing Beach to make sure that we don't get trapped in the actives ourselves, and Galar Mine so that way Sharpedo can hit for an extra 60 damage just by having that guy down, and it makes the opponent have a more difficult time getting out of the active. And then when it comes to energy, we're running 1 Splash Energy, so that way we can get a Pokemon back in our hand if it gets knocked out, and 7 Water Energy. So, with that said, let's jump right into our game. Alright, and welcome back to another video. I'm playing against Tara again this week. Now, Tara has won 2 tournaments at our local league and earned herself 2 badges. One for the grass deck she used last week, and one for this colorless deck you're about to see right here. This deck is mostly flying types. She's had all birds, mostly. There's 2 Pokemon that aren't quite birds, but It is what it is. Now, I accidentally already looked at my hand before we flipped coins, but it's kind of a casual game, so we really didn't care, and I will be going second for this game. If you saw my opening hand, I'm starting with the Vulpix from Guardians Rising, one of the best openers you can have. And otherwise, in my hand, I've got Frillish, I've got Shellos, I've got Surfing Bee. I've got a pretty decent hand set up right now. I mean, Lucami, I don't really have a supporter that can help right now, but I've got a pretty decent hand. Looks like Tara's going to be opening Squovit. Now, her hand is also kind of interesting, where she has some stuff she can do, but not really great. But now looking at town map, we won't need to prize check, because she can just go ahead and flip over all of her prizes, and it looks like she has 3 energy in the prizes. Now, I remember when we were playing, she did say that that was kind of a big deal, because her deck only runs 7 or 8 energy, so having almost half your energy in the prizes is not going to be easy for her, meaning that our Gastrodon deck has a very good chance of kind of cooking here and making it more difficult for her to get that energy access. She's going to Nest Ball and Level Ball. Using Nest Ball, she's going to go ahead and get Fan Rotom, and then using Fan Rotom's ability, she can find 3 more colorless Pokemon that have 100 hit points or less. Looks like she's going to go with Fletchling, Spearow, and Fearow to put Fearow in the hand, and then she'll use Level Ball to get 1 more Pokemon with 90 hit points or less, and it looks like she's going to go with Bidoof. Okay, now that's an interesting Bidoof. It has 70 hit points, which makes it not susceptible to Raging Bolt, but at the same time, it also doesn't have that bench barrier ability like the other Bidoof has that we see a little more often. They're neither a bad choice, they're just different. So she's going to clean up her board here, as she is looking really set up for going top of turn 1. Now she also is suffering from that lack of supporter option like I am, but now with my turn, I'm going to go ahead and do what I can. I'll draw for turn, I get Octillery, that's not bad. We'll get Frillish and Shellos down on the bench, but I can't really do much else with my hand. I'm going to Beacon, so with that I'm going to prize check. I've got 4 great supporters and TM Evo in the prizes, which is not great, but at least none of my key pieces are prized, so that's kind of an important thing there. So after getting the prizes down, I'm going to go ahead and Beacon and search for 2 Pokemon, and I'm kind of hemming and hawing about a lot of things here. Do I want to go ahead and just get Gastrodon and Jellicent so I can evolve up next turn? I'm thinking about it. Do I want to get some basics instead to build up my bench a little more? And you can see me hemming and hawing a lot about the Gastrodon, double checking my hand, and instead I realize I'm going to get my draw engine online, so I'm going to go ahead and get Remoraid, and also Sobble, because if I can play Drizzile, eventually it'll help me get those other Pokemon as well. Now, I don't know that Tara's got kind of a slow start with her hand, but oh, she does not have a slow start, as she draws right into Winona, top decking a fantastic supporter for her, allowing her to search her deck for any 3 colorless Pokemon, which is kind of broken at this stage in the game. Top decking Winona was huge for her. She's going to use that to go ahead and get Fletchinder. And what else is she going to get? I mean, I'd be surprised. There it is, if she doesn't get Bibarel. And finally, she's going to get... She's looking at Talonflame, but also considering... is she considering Pidove? She is considering Pidove, and she'll get Pidove as well. Which, you know what, getting her Unfezant is her second main attacker, so getting that set up a while is also not going to be the worst thing for her. Shuffling her deck and then contemplating exactly what she's going to do, but she already knows that hand that's not great for her, she can already get rid of it this turn with Squovit and Bibarel. So and that's why she didn't get the Talonflame. Even though she was considering it for a while, she decided she'd rather shuffle away her hand and risk getting the Talonflame another way or another day, evolving into all those Pokemon and not really needing anything else in her hand. She's going to go ahead and I think she's going to go Nest Dash with Squovit. Anything else? I think she was considering maybe dropping the Muscle Band or the Gravity Gemstone. Instead, she is going to Nest Dash, shuffling her hand, putting it on the bottom of her deck, and drawing a card. What does she get? Now, if she can play it right away, it makes Bibarel even stronger. She cannot play Rare Candy right away, so she is instead going to Bibarel 4 more cards, sorry. Finally getting some of that energy she desperately needs, as well as the Unfezant Rare Candy. Oh my gosh, she is getting so lucky despite not having a lot of energy in her deck right now. So we are definitely having an uphill battle looking at our hand versus her hand. It is going to be a very different game. She'll attach an energy to Squovit, prepping it to be retreated next turn, and she's thinking about whether she wants the Timer Ball right now or pass turn. She decides to save it, passing turn. Oh, I apologize, maybe she doesn't save it. She retreats the Squovit into Fletchinder, and... is she going to pass? Is she going to use it? She passes turn. I draw right into Drizzile, which is fantastic for me. I'm just going to go ahead and drop Sobble and Remoraid. And again, I just don't have anything else I can do. So I'm going to Beacon, get 2 more cards out of my deck, get ready for next turn. I will be getting the Gastrodon and Slowpoke, so I can get Slowking online eventually. Now, she top decks Talonflame. Are you kidding? Her top decks are absolutely unreal. She's going to get the Talon. Now, she had Timer Ball, so she probably could have had it anyway, but oh my gosh, her deck is doing exactly what it needs to do. If she just had access to a little more energy, she would be so much more threatening right now. She's going to Rare Candy into Unpheasant, and maybe she can get the energy here, as she will Nest Stash the Timer Ball to the bottom of the deck, pretending to shuffle one card for the fun of it, drawing a card, and she gets Old Amber, Antique Old Amber, which is great for her Aerodactyl that she's not going to be using. She gets Tranquil versus Seeker, Tranquil versus Seeker, Ultra Ball, and Scorched Earth. Again, none of these really help her this turn, so I kind of got lucky that her Bibarel Squilvet combo did not do much. But hey, it's going to help anyway, right? So let's see what she does. I think she just passes turn because Talonflame needs 2 energy to attack, and she only has the 1. I will go ahead and evolve Octillery into Remoraid. I'll evolve Gastrodon up. I'll slap down Slowpoke. Now, what else can I do? I'm thinking, do I want to evolve? I mean, I'm going to evolve Drizzile probably, but is there anything I want to do first? Is there anything I want to search for first? We will go ahead and evolve Drizzile. I can get any one trainer card out of my deck that I'd like. Double checking my hand, making sure I can't do anything, and kind of like Terra, I'm feeling a little energy screwed right now, but I have 2 kind of choices. Do I want to go for a supporter and just refresh my hand like Lilies? I'm really thinking about Lilies here, or nope, just Capricious Bucket. I need that energy. I can get more Pokemon out of my deck. I can thin it, give me a better chance of getting a better card, but we need that energy online. So I am going to do something here that I think it's definitely going to be an interesting play, and I think it's the good play here, because I'm going to attach the energy not to Gastrodon, but to Alolan Vulpix and TM Evo. Using TM Evo, I'm going to go ahead and grab Jellicent and Slowking. So now, other than Inteleon, my bench is completely set up. I have everything I need to start going off next turn. So I shuffle my I shuffle my deck. Terra's going to go ahead and top deck Evo Soda. Again, but nothing in her hand is worth it, so she's just going to go ahead and Nest Dash her entire hand, drawing 1 card, see if she can't play it, and she gets Ninja Boy, which is an interesting card, but not very useful right now, so she's going to go ahead and use Bibarel's Insidious Incisors to draw 4 more cards, or Industrious Incisors, I'm sorry, and she gets an Escape Rope, Buddy, Bosses, and still no energy. She is struggling here without any way to find energy. Again, we got real lucky that 3 of them are prized, and I think she might just have to pass. There's not much else she can do here, because she doesn't want to use that Escape Rope. Talonflame's the closest to being able to attack. She might Ninja Boy, and she is going to Ninja Boy. She's going to get rid of that Fan Rotom, shuffling it back into her deck for any other basic Pokemon. Now, Ninja Boy wouldn't, if that Pokemon had special conditions or damage counters or energy, all of that would stay in place. It's just the Pokemon that changes. It makes it a really interesting card, kind of fun if you can power up a Pokemon real quick, especially in decks like a Dark deck, where you can power up a Pokemon and then maybe swap it for a Guzzlord or something like that. Ninja Boy can be really fun to catch your opponents off guard. Here, she's just going to get a liability off the bench and set up another component of her draw engine for next turn. And I think after that she's gonna have to pass because there's not much else she can do. Am I wrong? Or is she gonna go ahead and pass? And she's thinking, I don't know what else she could be doing here. She's maybe going to boss something, but she already Ninja Boyed, so she can't boss. So I think she's just going to go ahead and pass. There it is. I draw, I get Buddy. Kind of a useless card right now, but I'm going to go ahead and attach an energy to Gastrodon. I'm flipping a coin to see if I can use Slowking. That missed energy on Talonflame is going to make Gastrodon's effect completely useless. I get a tail, so I can't move that missed energy off. So unfortunately, that's just going to hurt us. I evolve into Inteleon, and then I look at my hand, I see what I can do. I'm debating putting down a Stadium. There we go. I drop Surfing Beach just to get another card out of my hand, so I can Abyssal Hand for 2. I get Roseanne's Backup, and Marnie, there it is. Finally, I can refresh my hand. And I'm debating, do I want to play Marnie? Because Terra's hand isn't great either. I don't know that I want to play Marnie, but I do, because she can just refresh her hand anyway with Bibarel and Squilvet, so me not letting her refresh her hand isn't really going to do much. It's going to do me more harm than it will do her good. So I draw 5 new cards, I get an energy, I get Aqua Patch, which I consider playing to start powering something up. I also had Hex Maniac in hand, but again, already played a supporter for turn. I would have been able to love to shut off her draw engine for a turn. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and play Aqua Patch, but then I look at my discard pile and realize I don't have any water energy in the discard pile, so I can't really use Aqua Patch yet. I could retreat the Vulpix, but with that missed energy, I'm just setting Gastrodon up to die. So instead, I beacon for my Carvanha and Sharpedo for the inevitability that Carvanha will be dying soon. And Terra's going to go ahead and Ultra Ball away. I saw her Ultra Ball away the Timer Ball. I couldn't see the other card. It might have been her Old Amber or something along those lines, so she can get Dodrio and get her bench fully set up. Again, my hand is not fantastic. I'm trying to see what else is in there. It looks like Guzma, and I can't see what that other one is, but that doesn't matter so much. Tara's going to go ahead and shuffle her deck. Let's take a look at what she got off of the Marnie. Is it worth it? She got that Ultra Ball, discarded 2 cards, got her Dodrio up, and with Super Rod and Charon, neither are really useful, so she's going to go ahead and Nest Dash both of them to the bottom of the deck and draw a card. Is she able to play it? And I couldn't see what, and she might be, but I don't think she wants to, because there's only 1 fire energy in her discard pile right now, so she'll just draw 4 more, and there's the energy she so desperately needs. Ugh, not great for us. But she's going to go ahead and use Sky Pillar to bump our stadium, just so we don't have access to those retreats. She will then use Dodrio for Zooming Draw. I think that's what it's called, and putting 1 damage counter on Dodrio to draw 1 card, and she got another energy. There's like half of her energy in her hand right there. If only I could Marnie this away, but unfortunately she is instead going to attach the second energy that Talonflame needs. She's kind of looking over the cards, making sure that reading other abilities, things like that. I don't know why she needed to know Gastrodon's ability, considering she has no way of gusting it up into the active, but she's just debating if she wanted to use that Fire Crystal to get that 1 energy in the discard pile back, and she is instead not going to. She's going to play Ball Guy to thin her deck a little bit. Let's see, what does she get out of it, if anything, or did she just play it to get rid of it? I don't even, no balls in her deck whatsoever. She's either used them all, or the Hisuian Heavy Ball is prized. So by playing Ball Guy, now you might go, that seems like a waste. She didn't do anything with her supporter, but it gets Ball Guy out of the deck. It's a useless supporter, and she didn't really have another supporter this turn, so she thought, I'd rather waste my supporter than have to deal with it. So that way, next time she used the Insidious Incisors and the Squovit, then she'd be able to. Now, last turn, I did misplay. I evolved into Inteleon, but never did Quick Shooting. I could have put 20 damage on Squovit, meaning it would have died 1 turn sooner, but I did, unfortunately, and that misplay might end up costing us pretty bad. I promote Gastrodon after Talonflame knocks out Vulpix, so I can finally get Carvanha down on the bench. I'm going to put the energy on Inteleon, so that way Inteleon or Carvanha would be able to attack next turn, depending on what I end up doing. And now I'm praying. I need a heads here. I need to get that mist energy off of Talonflame, and I do. I get the heads. I move the mist energy onto Squovit. This turn, I am not going to forget to do Quick Shooting. I think I'm going to go ahead and put 20 damage onto the Squovit. Only at 40 on it right now. I'm kicking myself about that one. It very well might cost us the game later. That's an extra turn of killing Squovit. She's checking to see if Sky Pillar prevents me from putting damage on it, but both Sky Pillar and Mist Energy say it prevents damage from attacks. Inteleon is not an attack, it's an ability, so it's totally valid. I'm going to go ahead and play Guzma. I'm debating if I want to discard anything from my hand so I can get a special energy and a tool card, but the more I think about it, the more I realize I don't need a special energy or a tool right now. I kind of just want a stadium. I just want to be able to bump Sky Pillar, maybe get something else in play. I'm debating which stadium to grab, and it's going to be Galar Mine. I don't want that Talonflame retreating. I want it stuck in the active, unable to attack, so with Galar Mine and Jellicent in the field, that Talonflame, which normally has a free retreat cost, currently has a retreat cost of 3. That is crazy. A Pokemon with free retreat going up to 3. I will Aqua Patch now that Vulpix died and put that energy onto Carvanha so he's set up next turn. Octillery for 1. And with Super Rod, I'm debating if I need to... no, not really worth playing Super Rod right now. So am I going to do anything else, or am I just going to attack? I instead attack with Gastrodon, putting 20 damage onto the Talonflame. Now the Talonflame's attack costs 3 energy, and its retreat is 4. And with only 1 energy attached, that Talonflame can't really do much this turn. You're finally seeing Gastrodon being able to do what it does. It is a slow deck. Ugh. I mean, this is going to be a slow deck. My only hope is that Terra kind of runs through all of her resources and then maybe eventually mills herself, or I can slowly take these prize cards as she just runs out of things to do. But it's going to be a long struggle until I can get there. Instead of putting it on Talonflame, which is going to end up being not that useful, she instead starts to power up Unfezant. If she can find a way to switch out of the active, she did have an escape rope in that deck, she'd be able to kill Gastrodon with Unfezant eventually, but she's just going to go ahead and attach, and then she will nest stash, trying to find something a little bit better. She's going ahead and draw, and she's going to get Fan Rotom, not very useful to her right now. So with with Industrious Incisor, she draws 4 more cards, and she finally gets something that's not that bad. Colress's Tenacity, Boss's Orders, Versus Seeker, all of these are going to be able to help her play a supporter, but not yet. Zooming draw for 1 more card, see what she can do with it, and it is another Stadium. Now she could use that to bump Galar Mine, meaning her retreat cost would be only 2 instead of 4, but still, she already attached an energy per turn, and she doesn't really want to use all of her energy getting out of the active. So is she going to bump Galar Mine yet? She is. Galar Mine goes away. Unfortunate. Sharpedo is going to be a lot less effective right now as she plays Scorched Earth, Professor's Letter to find 2 more energy out of her deck. There they are. I think those might be the last of the basic energy. She probably has 1 or 2 special energy still in the deck, but that's about it. Is she going to do anything else with her turn, or is she just going to pass? Because Talonflame cannot attack now. She can't attach energy. She didn't play a supporter, but with Scorched Earth, she can discard one of those energy to draw 2 cards. I don't mind seeing these energy in the discard, but that's because at the time, I don't really know how much energy retrieval she's playing, and it is a good amount. She has not played her supporter for turn, and unfortunately for me, she does have a really good supporter. Giovanni's Charisma, not a supporter we see very often, but what it does is it allows me to put an energy, not allows me, it forces me to put an energy from my Pokemon back into my hand, and she can then go ahead and attach an energy to her active Pokemon. Wow, so that's kind of crazy. It can speed her up. It does not really counter this deck, but it definitely makes it more difficult. Luckily for me, Talonflame still needs 3 energy to attack, so we're not going to see an attack here this turn, but it does set her up to attack next turn. So I kind of need Slowking to move an energy again off of Talonflame, or else I'm going to be in trouble, and luckily for me, I get a heads. We're going to put that energy on to Skwovet. Now again, had I not misplayed earlier, Skwovet will be dead right now. She wouldn't have been able to refresh her hand another time. I would have had a prize card. It would have been so great. But unfortunately, thanks to that misplay, Skwovet gets to stick around for 1 more turn. I go through my hand, I decide what I want to do, and I realize that the retreat cost on Talonflame isn't what's going to kill me right now. So I'm kind of debating between Hex Maniac or Ball Guy. I don't think Hex Maniac is the play, so I really hope I don't play Hex Maniac. Am I going to play Ball Guy just to kind of get stuff out of my deck? Kind of like Terra did, maybe so that I can use Octillery. I don't really remember what play I go for here. I end up deciding on playing... I'm really struggling here because I also have Guzma. I could use Guzma, get something up in the active and hit it really hard with maybe Sharpedo or something, but now that I realize I don't have Gravity Gemstone, Sharpedo, not really a lot of great options. So I Ball Guy to play a supporter, get some more stuff out of my deck. What am I going to go for? I am going to get which balls, if anything, and I, like Terra, choose to play nothing. I don't want anything out of my deck. I just want an opportunity to draw cards with Octillery. Playing supporters and getting nothing out of it doesn't feel good, but I had nothing else in my hand that I was comfortable with doing. Octillery, I draw for 1, and I'm going to get, I think that's, it's either Rescue Stretcher or Night Stretcher. I got one of the Stretchers. Instead, Gastrodon's just going to go ahead and put another 20 damage. Now Talonflame's attack is 3, and his retreat is 2. Kind of looking at her hand, again, I didn't see what she drew. I was kind of focused on the Talonflame. I apologize with my voice over here. Let's see what she got. Oh, she has Versus Seeker in hand. So she's got a lot of options. She's going to first Fire Crystal and recover some energy out of the discard pile. That's really not great for us. We just got her to burn through a lot of her resources, and she's going to get 2 more back in her hand. Oh, nope. She's going to, instead of doing that, discard some cards first. So first, she's going to go ahead and discard Fan Rotom and Colress, and that allows her to search her deck for more energy. She's going to go ahead and get just the only one that's left. Now, that might seem silly, But by getting all the energy out of her deck, I now know that she has no more basics. I don't really know what special she has, so in my mind, I'm close to getting it all out of her deck. She's going to go ahead and discard it to draw 2 more cards. She's going to get Switch and Air. Switch! Who plays Switch in a deck with 3 Pokemon with free retreat? Oh, that feels so bad and completely shuts down a lot of this deck. But Fire Crystal allows her to put those 3 fire energy back in her hand. It seems like Terra just has an answer for everything. And it seems crazy that she always has the answer. But again, with Skwovet and Bibarel, it's really easy for colorless to find those answers by consistently cycling through their deck. Zooming Draw is going to get her the another draw, which is the Muscle Band. She'll play Versus Seeker, and she'll once again play Giovanni's Charisma. No, that hurts so bad because now Talonflame, whose attack is 3, can attack. The energy goes back into my hand as she gets 3 energy on Talonflame. Oh, that hurts so much. And with that, if there's anything else, she could just kill Gastrodon right here for 220 damage. And I think that's what we're going to go ahead and see. Yep, Gastrodon goes down. We are in a rough spot here. But with Gastrodon down, what are my options? I'm going to go ahead and promote. I'm thinking about Sharpedo, but Sharpedo is going to do no damage if I promote it. So instead, I promote... Do I promote Sharpedo? Who do I promote? I'm struggling to decide what I want to do here because I don't have any way to get out of the active other than Guzma. So I'll promote Octillery with the plan of using Guzma this turn. Versus Seeker doesn't really help very much. So I'm kind of looking through the discard pile. Do I have anything I can use Versus Seeker on? I have Super Rod. I have one of the stretchers. It is Night Stretcher. So I'll play Night Stretcher to get Shellos back and put it on the bench. I kind of need Gastrodon here in order to waste some of that energy. Super Rod's going to go ahead and get Gastrodon. And that's about it. I'm literally super rodding for 1 Pokemon to put it back in the deck. Maybe I can draw into it with Octillery. Maybe I can just get lucky enough with some of my other cards. I don't know, but it's going to be difficult. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I have to play Guzma here, right? It's my only option. I'm going to go ahead and attach a second energy to Inteleon, so Inteleon is capable of attacking. And I'm going to flip a coin, and I will be able to move an energy from Talonflame onto Skwovet. Using Inteleon, I can knock out Skwovet, which I should have done last turn. Unfortunately, I did not. I get Irida, which is going to be fantastic for next turn. I'll be able to finish setting up Gastrodon next turn with Irida, but instead I'm going to play Guzma. There we go. So now I can pick whatever I want. I gotta get something trapped in the active. I don't know she has a switch in hand, so to me this is the best play. With the Barrel and his high 2 retreat cost, now 3 thanks to Jellicent trapped in the active, I can bump up Sharpedo. And if Sharpedo attacks, it'll do 100 damage, meaning I could knock out Bibarel next turn with Inteleon. And I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Sharpedo is going to attack Bibarel, dealing 100 damage. So 10 damage counters, putting it just 2 away from the knockout. So next turn, Inteleon can take a clean knockout here. Gonna draw Charon. Now, Charon could be interesting if she could use it to pick up the barrel and just put it back in her hand, which would stink for us. But again, Super Rod, putting those energy back in the deck. Oh my god, she has so much recovery and so many switches. What am I supposed to do here? But with Teammates, since I knocked out a Pokemon last turn, she can get any 2 cards she wants, including the Switch. And the Skwovet, getting that back up. It feels so bad right now. I had nothing else I can do. But that's the game we play. So let's see what she's going to bring up in the active. Is it going to be Talonflame again? She could easily attack with Talonflame and finish off... Well, no, she can't finish off Sharpedo with Talonflame because Talonflame does 110 damage, but if the retreat cost is 2 or more, then it does 220. And Sharpedo only has 1 retreat cost and 120 hit points. So it would survive with 10 if she went into Talonflame, but instead, she has a different plan. By promoting Dodrio, if she Zooming Draws 1 more time, she'll be able to deal enough damage to knock out Sharpedo. And I think that's what we're going to see here. She has the energy in hand, so she'll probably go ahead and attach that next. Yep, go ahead and attach an energy to Dodrio. Oof, feels bad, but it is the game we play. So let's see what she does here. She's going to attach... Oh, is she going to do Muscle Band, or is she going to save it for later? She is going to save it for later, it looks like, as she has to... She was planning on just attacking, but she forgot that she had to Zooming Draw, so when is she going to realize that? There she declares the attack, but this is a casual game. I don't mind if she... There we go. She remembers Zooming Draw and knock out Sharpedo, taking her 3rd prize card. We are really behind this game, and I think part of that might be the Inteleon misplay. Unfortunately, it is not the only misplay I'm going to make this game. I promote Inteleon, I draw a card, and I'm going to use... Am I going to use Irida? Am I going to use Versus Seeker, Arven? I actually have a lot of good options, but I'll first go ahead and attach the energy to... two Shellos evolving into Gastrodon with Irida, and I get to pick any one item card I want. I think I need to get Sharpedo back if I have any chance of winning this game. So I'm debating between Counter Catcher to trap something in the active, do some damage, knock it out. Instead, I decide on Ordinary Rod. I'm going to put Sharpedo, Carvanha, and 1 energy back into the deck and shuffle it up. And that might help us in a future turn, I really don't know, but we're kind of really behind the 8 ball right now. I gotta think of some way to bring this game back. And again, the only thing I can think of is to continue to force Terra to wear down and destroy her resources. Inteleon is going to go ahead and use Quick Shooting to knock out the barrel, allowing us to take our second prize card. Octillery is going to let me draw 1 card, and I get Field Blower to get rid of Scorched Earth. I do not want her cycling through her deck any more than I can now that I've gotten rid of her draw engine. Slowking is not going to be able to move that energy off of the Dodrio. With how much she can get energy out of the discard pile, I really don't want her having it down there, so I'll instead go ahead and knock it out with Inteleon for the 70 damage, which is about enough as I need, and get a 3rd prize card. She's going to go ahead and promote Unpheasant with 1 energy attached. A second one is going to probably be enough to, well, I'll be honest, I cannot read or remember what Unpheasant's first attack is off the top of my head. If you remember, go ahead and leave a comment below, as I genuinely do not know from up here. But I know its second attack does a ton of damage, and then it can't attack the following turn. I believe the first attack does damage, and then it has a second effect, but I don't quite remember what it is. Using Raihan, she can attach that energy to the Unpheasant from the discard pile, and she still has the ability to attach one for turn, going through her deck, and she's got so much energy in there. She is going to get any 1 energy she wants, or any 1 card she wants, I should say. I believe it's going to be an energy, though, so that she'll be able to attack and knock out Inteleon, and it's going to be, is that powerful energy? I think it is. Oh, nope. She's thinking about powerful energy, and she decides on powerful energy. That's going to be more than enough to knock out Inteleon, so she'll go down to 2 prizes after this, and we again are just losing resources almost at a faster rate than she is. I really feel like had I not misplayed on that Squovit, we would have been in a much better position, but it is what it is. That's the game we play. And now I've learned. So when you're playing this deck, make sure you do not forget about Quick Shooting Inteleon on the first turn you play it. Let's see, is she going to do anything else before she knocks out Inteleon? And there she goes, taking a knockout and her second to last prize card. I have to decide what to promote here. I really don't have any other choices or options other than I'm thinking about promoting Jellicent. Why? Well, because I have Versus Seeker in hand, and I could Versus Seeker for Guzma, and then I'll be able to get Gastrodon in the active. But if I do that, then I'm forcing myself to play Gastrodon instead. Forcing myself to play Guzma. Instead, I promote Gastrodon. I decide to attach Floatstone to Jellicent, and then I will play. Am I going to play Arven? Am I going to play Versus Seeker? What am I going to do? I can't leave Unpheasant in the active. I'm gonna Iono. I need something. I need to get our Carvanha back. I need to get Sharpedo back. I could have maybe stalled a turn with my hand, but it wasn't gonna help me get what I needed. So I thought taking her down to 2 cards would be helpful, and with that I cannot play another supporter, but I did get 2 of the supporters I really need. Octillery lets me draw 2 more cards. I'm gonna get Splash Energy, and I'm gonna flip a coin for Slowking. I get the Tails. Ugh. But I also find the Level Ball off of the Octillery, which is gonna let me get Carvanha back. Maybe I can do something with that. I do still have Versus Seeker in the deck, so I could Irida next turn if I needed it. But again, we're really struggling to find our way out here. Oh, I accidentally flipped those 2 cards over, but that's all right. We're struggling to find our way out here. I kind of need to trap something in the active and make it so that way not only can it not retreat, but Terra can't attack. I really wish I had Counter Catcher in hand, but I do not. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and attach an energy, or I think I'm going to attach an energy. I think what I do is I end up attacking but forgetting to attach, and then Terra lets me take it back and attach, but it's like within a second, so it ends up being okay. I will go ahead and I gotta do something. I can't just do nothing, but yeah, that's what I do. Luckily for me, Unpheasant is not able to attack next turn. So not just because of my attack, but because of Unpheasant's own attack and own ability. So I use my attack, making her force her to retreat an extra. Start that sentence over. With my attack, I force her to discard an extra energy if she wants to retreat, getting rid of more of those resources, and that's exactly what she's going to do. This will allow her to probably take a knockout on Gastrodon if she has an energy in hand, which I don't know that she does. I'm praying she doesn't. She already had 2 energy attached to Talonflame, so she didn't even need to attach, but she's going to attach, kind of like I had forgotten. She'll do that for herself. She goes down to 1 prize card left. I promote Jellicent because it has free retreat, and I'm really struggling here. I need to stall. I don't have anything right now that can help, so I really need to stall. I want to play Lusamine to get Galar Mine back, but if I do that, then Talonflame's stuck in the active, and I can't do anything. I want to play Lucia's Appeal to draw up the Squovit, because then at the very least, maybe she won't have an out. She won't be able to retreat, and I can buy a turn with that. I want to play Versa Seeker for Guzma or Irida, so that Irida, so that I can get my Sharpedo online, and maybe I can get Countercatcher if it's in the deck. In fact, I think Versa Seeker for Countercatcher and Sharpedo is the correct play, but I think I misplay here. I think I do something else. I instead go for, what do I'm struggling here. I think Lucia's Appeal or get the I'm considering Lusamine, but that cannot be the right play. Do not play Lusamine past me. Good, that's what I should not be doing, and instead I Lucia's Appeal here. I think I Lucia's Appeal here to try to trap the Squovit. So I tell myself, you know what, if I can just trap Squovit for one turn, I've got this game. Squovit goes to the active because it's a basic and is confused. That was a misplay on my part. I definitely should have Irida. I should have Versa Seeker for Irida, but I don't. Those two cards don't help me very much. Ultra Balling away, Nest Ball, and a Water Energy because they're just completely useless to me. I do get the Sharpedo, and I can retreat into Sharpedo because then at the very least, I think to myself, if she doesn't have another energy in hand, Unpheasant can't kill me, and Talonflame can't kill me right now. So by retreating into Sharpedo, even if she can get out of the active, I'll buy myself another turn. That's my thought process right now. Again, I think Irida for countercatching and the Sharpedo might have been a better play, but they still got me the same result, so I don't really know. But I don't realize that she has Muscle Band in the deck. Arven is going to let her get an item and a tool card, Escape Rope, and Muscle Band. That's going to seal the deal, as she's going to be able to retreat into either Talonflame or into Talonflame, attach the Muscle Band for an easy knockout on anything that I promote, no matter what, and that's probably going to be the game here. But let's just play it out so you guys can see which Pokemon she decides to go into. But she even has the energy in hand, so she decides to go for big damage as much as possible here. She will first Escape Rope. I'll bring up Sharpedo, even though I know it is a lost cause, because technically with Escape Rope, I have to choose first. I bring up Sharpedo, and I know this game is over, but we're playing it out. She's going to then retreat Squovit into either Unpheasant or Talonflame. I think she goes into Unpheasant here. She does. And I tell myself that means she must have an energy in hand, and there it is, the fire energy that she was able to recycle back into her deck with Muscle Band, knocking me out and taking all the prize cards. Great game, Tara. Alright everyone, so that was a great game. Thank you so much to Tara for playing against me, and I really appreciate the time that you guys take to watch this video. I know they're not short, but I hope you find them entertaining. So, just like last time, let's first go ahead and put our Gastrodon in the binder to remind us of all the games that we've played on this journey of favorite Pokemon in GLC. Also, last time I did promise this card here to whoever left a comment, or one of the random commenters, and it was this comment right here that ended up winning. So thank you so much for supporting this channel. I'll make sure to get this to you as fast as possible once I get some of your contact information. But additionally, like the Dust Docs last time, I have an extra Gastrodon card. If anybody would like a chance to win this card, go ahead and leave a comment below. We'll pick one of those random winners to, one of those random comments to be the winner of this Gastrodon card. While we did misplay a little bit, I do hope you guys learned how to use Gastrodon in GLC. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more of these, and until next time, have a fantastic day.